Vic Mornington, how's everybody doing now? I was positive I had done a video on this place in the Morningtons at series round about the same time I'd done the original videos covering New Babbage. It turns out when I went back to the older videos in this channel, I've never done a video on Caledon, which is shocking considering I used to spend a lot of time in Caledon about a decade ago now. But yeah, I used to spend a lot of time here. So Mornington's at Caledon. So when it comes to Victorian slash steampunk roleplay communities, the big two have always been the big two. You've got the more grungier, darker aspect of steampunk, which is what New Babbage leans towards. But then you've got the slightly more cleaner, slightly more leaning towards proper Victorian with a little twist of steampunk thrown in, and that's Caledon. So Caledon's at 17 regions. It used to be at 30. They've had to shed a, well, not, I think the big, there's that damn turkey again. Anybody got a shotgun? And it's just going to stand there. It's going to stand there and do little circles in front of me. It must be, I don't know, go away. This is the kind of thing you expect to see in Caledon, by the way. Just random things happening. Why is there a turkey walking around? Anyway. What was I talking about again? Right, so Caledon's at 17 regions. There was a point in time when Caledon was damn close to 30. Original owner is the governor, Desmond Shang. Really, really nice fella, Des Shang. Haven't spoken to him for a long time now, but Des Shang had to leave Second Life because of real life commitments. And what happened was, I think this was about something like 4 or 5 years ago now, the owner of the Wastelands RP regions. Now, the Wastelands is a lot like the Fallout series, if you've ever played the Fallout series. Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, the post-apocalyptic kind of thing. The owner of those Wasteland regions actually took over Caledon from Des Shang, and Caledon's been going strength to strength since then. They have managed, at least the new owner has managed to basically stabilise Caledon to what it is now. He did have to do a big number of rearranging how the regions were laid out because there was a lot of gaps that happened in the old land structure of Caledon because Des Shang had to shed a number of regions, but Caledon's nice and stable now. So here we are in Caledon. I was sure I'd done a video in this place, but it turns out I didn't. So here we are in Caledon, 17 regions of whimsical steampunk Victorian fun. Now, Caledon is a roleplay community, so if you do end up here, it is advisable, if you're going to be spending a bit of time in Caledon, find some Victorian clothes. You know, you don't have to. It's a lot like New Babbage. Roleplay is not enforced. So you can show up in modern day clothes if you want. That's what I've done because I'm just going to be here for 10-15 minutes recording this video. But if you're going to be walking around exploring, get some Victorian clothes on, or at least a nice suit if you're a male, and a nice dress if you're a female. Kind of blend in a little bit more, that kind of thing. But as you can see, there is aspects of steampunk going on in Caledon, but the bulk of Caledon is on the ground. And unlike New Babbage, you're not going to see a lot of dark, foreboding, gritty suit colour or suit covered dark buildings. It's a lot more lighter. It's a lot more airier. You're not going to be hacking your lungs up, breathing in lungfuls of soot, which you will do if you go and visit New Babbage, because here it's a bit cleaner. They're leaning in a little bit more towards the much more cleaner aspect of traditional Victorian era. Caledon is also one of those regions, and it's a dying breed of region. It's one of those regions like New Babbage that is not a pre-planned estate. So when I'm talking about pre-planned estates, what I'm talking about is the likes of Woodland Grove, which I've just moved into, the likes of Portofino, which is run by Cara Oliveri, where you visit that town, you see a house that you like, that's already been landscaped, it's already been parcelled off, it's already been landscaped, you've got the house all there, and you basically rent the house. Caledon and New Babbage is old school. You rent the land. In fact, you don't rent it, you actually buy the land. Let me show you what let me show you what I mean. Right. If we bring the world map back up here and get rid of all these hold on. I always like to see what Surplus Motors is doing. The Saroma 300 Lindens. Give me a minute, folks. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, this isn't going to load because I've got the drop. That looks like a Volvo. Wait, no, I'm not. I'm going to skip that one. Sorry, Surplus. Looks like a Volvo estate. Why would I want to buy one of those? Anyway, moving on. See that? Just wait on. Now, there. That's the big giveaway. Those yellow squares you only really see when you're looking at mainland. Now, Caledon is not part of mainland. It's a private estate, conglomerated private estate. Again, like Portofino, like Woodland Grove, that kind of stuff. But here, you buy the land, and I'm going to show you exactly how this works. We're going to pick a random chunk of land here. Let's go for Caledon Mayfair. We'll double click here, and we're going to land. Oh, the camera's not following me. There we go. We're going to land here, and what you're looking at is that big yellow chunk of land that we're seeing here on the map. Up there is a price tag. Click on it, and you buy the land. You agree to the covenant and you hit purchase. And what's going to happen is, instead of renting the land, which is what everyone's used to doing in the likes of, again, Portofino and all the pre-planned estates, what you're basically doing is you're buying, literally buying, this chunk of land. This chunk of land will be under your name, not an estate owner. Your name, which means, yes, you can, within limits, terraform this. You can terraform and get rid of some of that pond in the corner if you want. You can return all the plants and all the flowers if you don't like them there. You can literally wipe this bit of land completely clean and build it up yourself. It means that you have to buy the house. You have to buy the landscaping. You have to buy everything, unlike the pre-planned estates that everyone's basically used to now. So if I was to head over to Portofino and rent a house, it's all landscaped. Cara's already landscaped it. If I was to head over to Woodland Grove, which I did 4 months ago, coming to think of it, and rent a house, it's been landscaped. Brodie has went in there, landscaped it all, put out the house, put out the fence. The only thing I need to do is res out my furniture. But Caledon and New Babbage are old school. This is the way that roleplay communities used to be. You used to rent the land. In fact, you didn't even rent the land. You bought the land. If I was to buy this right now, which I'm actually tempted to do because I want to res out my old pump house, but I don't have enough money. I'm still settling into my new job, and the new job's not paying as well as the old one, so I'm kind of scaling back on land a little bit. Anyway, if I was to buy this land, it would be under my own name. And I would need to make sure that whatever house or whatever building I was going to res out would suit the theme. And you're talking the late or the mid to late 1800s, the Victorian age. You're not going to see tiki beach huts here. You're not going to see modern maybe at the latter end of Queen Victoria's reign, concrete started to come in, but you're mostly going to see stone or brick-based Victorian buildings here. The covenant, if you do end up buying land here, the covenant basically explains it all. The other thing about Caledon, which is why it's still extremely popular, is Caledon has a lot of events going on. It's practically every day there's some kind of social event going on within Caledon or to do with the Caledon populace. It's one of the major reasons, coming to think of it, that Caledon has been on the go for so long now, practically 20 years. Let's just call it 20 years, right? Practically 20 years now, because Caledon is a lot like New Babbage. They're very welcoming of new people. They've always got welcoming parties that entice new renters to come in and meet the neighbours, kind of thing. usually what tends to happen is you do get a lot of people going to these events and going to these parties. And it's one of the main reasons, let's be honest, that Caledon has remained a very, very popular destination when it comes to Victorian steampunk. The kind of Victorian steampunk that's not New Babbage, dark, gritty, soot-filled air. This is more cleaner. Much more cleaner air. You won't end up with tuberculosis or something, or asbestos poisoning with breathing the air in Caledon. You can see it's a lot lighter, a lot airier. If you compare this to the video that I done in New Babbage about half a decade ago, it's a lot cleaner looking here because it's not pure steampunk. It's more whimsical steampunk. It's a very nice place, Caledon. Very nice place, Caledon. But again, if you are thinking of settling into Caledon and taking part in a little bit of Victorian or steampunk Victorian based roleplay, when you rent, you will essentially be buying a chunk of land, and that land is going to be under your name, not under anyone else's, not under an estate manager. It will be under your name because you purchased that land. There is tier boxes to keep up with the rent, obviously, but that land is under your name. So before, if you do think of moving here, before you move here, make sure that the house that you're thinking of rezzing out will fit in with the theme and the contemporary theme that Caledon actually covers. Think late Victorian, think whimsical steampunk, and 9 times out of 10, you'll basically be safe with whatever choice you make. Anyway, that is it from me, folks. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.